Hi, this is Dave Rudin, and welcome to this week's episode of FCIAC Football Weekly. We're coming to you live tonight from the Hideaway Restaurant in Ridgefield, and we want to thank our sponsors, Blue Streak Sports Training, Carl Chevrolet, and Innovative Health and Rehabilitation. The biggest game on the FCIAC schedule this past weekend was Brian McMahon traveling to Tiger Hollow to take on Ridgefield. Led by a balanced offensive attack and a strong defensive effort, Ridgefield handed the Senators their first loss, 44-7, keeping its state tournament hopes alive. We're here talking Ridgefield football tonight, and leading off with us is the Tigers coach, Kevin Callahan. Kevin, very impressive effort by the team against McMahon on Friday night.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. I thought the kids played really well. I was very impressed at not only the way we played, but the preparation we put in for the game and how I believe the game was won during the week, not necessarily that night.
We talked a little bit Friday night about how difficult it is to prepare for McMahon. Their old school football, you said it's a kind of style that you used to prepare for 9-10 times a year. Now you only see it once a year.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many people that ran it back when we first started up at Ridgefield, and you were getting ready for it every week. You were basing your defensive reads off of it. Everyone had keys and reads, and we are all good with that. Now you flash forward to where we are now, and it's the only team we play like that. So to change the mindset when you're playing spread teams every week to get ready for that, that's a really severe challenge to our team, especially a scout team that's never going to run it proficiently or as fast as we were going to see it. So the biggest part of last week was obviously not even practicing a repetition, was making sure we got on the huddle and got a good look at them, every single kid on the team, so they understood when they got their key what was going to come out of it.
You said a lot. Film work was really, sometimes you like to simulate things. Film work is really, what in terms of film work, because I don't think the average fan knows about it, but what do you do to prepare in terms of when you're relying on film?
Well, we're very fortunate in this day and age the way the film is available to us through the huddle. But, I'm expecting the kids to try to get an hour a day on there, and on top of everything else they're doing, that's a lot. As coaches, we're pretty much on there almost every waking moment. And it gives you the ability to prepare reports and things like that. So we're constantly sending things out to the kids where they can't watch that much film to produce that report, but we can build that report for them and get it out to them. And along the line, we can also send text messages to them on there. We could do voiceovers on there in the film and all other things. So it's really, it's such an effective tool because you don't have to spend the FaceTime with your team in one room watching one tape. They could be all on their own accounts watching tape as much as they can.
McMahon had been really effective running the ball against everybody. You're the first team other than a long touchdown run to really contain them. What were you able to do?
Well, I think the kids, at this time of the year and the season, you don't get faster. The only way you can play faster is to play confident. So, by watching the film and coaching them up, they started to say, yeah, okay, now I see it. And then they watch the film and they read only what they're supposed to see. And they're like, okay, when they do that, they always do this. So I think our confidence allowed us to play a little faster. But the long run that they did rip off, they're capable of doing that any time. So every snap's like a bombshell. You don't know if you're going to be able to put it out or it's going to, get in the end zone.
A lot of the storyline before the game was McMahon being unbeaten. This was a really, really important game for your state playoff hopes, keeping them alive.
Yeah, I mean, we lost to an excellent St. Joe's team and a very good, Darien team in a close battle. So, there's not a lot of wiggle room left for us now. And with McMahon coming in and being 7-0, obviously the math and the whole situation was tremendous for us to get an opportunity to have that victory, puts us right back in the mix.
You have Wilton, then you have Danbury. I don't know, how have you been so successful with Wilton? You're 17-0-1 against them last 18 games, and they're a good program.
They are a good program. I think we set goals every year that seem might be minimal goals, but one of them is always to try to knock off our neighbors. So we have them in back-to-back weeks, Wilton and Danbury, and I think the kids take a lot of pride in that. That's a goal that's listed for us every year, so it's something they certainly want to check off on their list also. And, we tell the kids, it's like, you don't want to be the team that's going to say, oh, you guys were the 013 team, didn't you guys lose to Wilton? So there's a responsibility that I like to think is passed down year to year, that's something that we have to have on our things to do list.
Team's been playing real well right now. You have to believe if you can get into the state playoffs, you're a team that not many are going to want to play.
Yeah, this team we have a lot of talent, and we also have great program kids. We have kids that have worked their tails off for 3 years just to have the opportunity to be on the field, and and it's all the credit to them. We're always going to supply that opportunity for you to be better as a player and to do everything 12 months a year. And the kids that take advantage of it now are on the field. And I think that's just, it's a credit to their desire and hard work to do that. Along with that, yeah, we do have some really good players. And I think we could create some problems for people if we get a chance to get in. And this year has been a year that you see teams that you thought were better lose and teams that you didn't think so good win. The double L is just feasting on each other at this point. That's why we figured there's going to be a team or two in there with 2 losses, and hopefully we could be one of them.
Well, Kevin, you're right on the doorstep there. We wish you the best of luck the final 2 games, and hopefully you have some December football for the Tigers.
Yeah, I'm hoping for that also. It'd be great for this class. It'd be great for the program to be back in postseason. And thank you for the recognition you're supporting with us.
Thanks a lot. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, Dave.
I want to thank our sponsors, Blue Streak Sports Training, Carl Chevrolet, and Innovative Health and Rehabilitation. Okay, we're back, and joining us right now is Ridgefield running back Will Bonaparte and quarterback Ryan Dunn. Will, 180 yards against McMahon on Friday. You've been out for parts of 2 games. You must have been anxious to get back out there.
Yeah, I didn't really have an injury. It was just a hip pointer, just a deep bruise to the hip, but it kept me from cutting, and it was awful. But it felt really good to come back, and they really let me go in the Brian McMahon game. They kind of, I only played for a half in the Norwalk game, but coming back and last Friday night on the Hollow, just letting loose, it was so much fun. I loved it.
Coach said, I know you were frustrated having to miss a good part of the Darien game, and Coach said that you were begging him to try to play more against Norwalk, and he wouldn't let you play.
Well, it was probably a good decision because taking another helmet to the hip wouldn't have felt good, and it might have brought me back down to like 75% for the next couple of weeks. So it was a good decision.
You had 3 touchdowns, 2 runs, and maybe the prettiest play of the night, the 68-yard screen pass. What happened on that play?
Well, yeah, that was a short little screen to the left, and a lot of credit goes to Michael Nyland on that play for getting out there and blocking a corner. A skill guy. He's getting out there and making a great block in space. And I just had a lane. It was easy. Just streak right down the field.
What was the mood like for the team, the build-up to the game? McMahon coming in undefeated, trying to get to the FCIAC and state playoffs?
I'm not a great spokesperson for the mood of the team because I go into every game pretty much the same, regardless of how big it is or who we're playing. It's just another football game. But we knew a couple of the players on McMahon. We were friends with them, and it was good to see those guys again. We've been playing them since 3rd grade, but it was a lot of fun, and just got to move on to the next week now. We can't linger on the win.
Okay, and Ryan, 5 touchdown passes. You just on that night?
We our passing game lacked in the first half. Luckily, our running game was dominant. Will did a great job. Our offensive line was consistent all night, as they have been all year. The pass protection was good. They were sending a lot of heat in the second half. That was kind of their answer to stop the run, so it opened up a lot of the downfield passing, and as always, our short game.
How much does it help? You have a very balanced offense. I think there's 300-yard difference between running and passing. Having that kind of running game, having this guy over here running over people, how much does that help you throwing the ball?
It helps a lot because it makes teams, some teams will focus on Will, and then some teams will focus on the pass. And either decision they make, we can beat them with the other one. So when teams do take away our run game, we had a couple games where they really keyed on Will. Notre Dame West Haven was one of them. Our passing game thrives off of that, and being balanced helps too because it doesn't put too much pressure on the passing offense, but it balances out the whole game.
You got some good playing time last year as a sophomore. This year you're one of the state leaders with 65% completion percentage. What do you attribute that to?
Well, it was nice to get a lot of experience last year. That really did help. And learning the offense young also benefited me. We didn't change much. We changed little things, but a lot of the big concepts stayed the same. And really just I'm built around our offensive line, and 2, we have great skill position guys this year. we have, two deep at every receiver spot, and obviously having Andrew as tight end, he's a great receiver for me. So
you guys are on the verge of state tournament berth. Will, Ryan, wish you the best of luck the rest of the season.
thank you.
I want to thank our sponsors, Blue Streak Sports Training, Carl Chevrolet, and Innovative Health and Rehabilitation. And we're back, and joining us for our final piece right now is Mickey Carbone and Andrew Chumma. We've been talking a lot of offense. Let's talk defense first. These guys are 1 and 2 on the team in tackles. Mickey, what were you able to do against an offense that you don't see a lot like McMahon's?
Yeah, absolutely. All week we were focusing on really trying to stop that beast of an offense. Our coaches did a great job of providing us with a scheme that we knew that we would be able to shut them down. And later on in the game, once our offense started rolling and our defense was shutting them down early, we put them in a spot where they weren't too comfortable, where they had to throw the ball and they were behind. So we felt pretty good going into the game, and we knew that we would be able to stop them.
Is it hard to prepare for a team like that when you don't see them? You're used to going up against spread offenses all year long?
Absolutely. We've seen a lot of spread offenses, and since we run the spread offense, we see that mostly in practice as well. But this week we really focused on watching a ton of film, and like I said, our coaches did an excellent job of preparing us. And then even our scout team did a really great job this week, focusing up and giving us a great look every day in practice.
It was your senior night, but there also had to be a sense of urgency. You pretty much have to win out if you're going to be playing football in December.
Absolutely. It was a great ceremony that we had at pregame, but once we finished that up, we went right in the locker room, focused on our last couple of tips, and got ready to go in for a war.
Andrew leads the team in receptions and tackles. You like playing offense or defense better? If coach told you could only play one?
I get asked that question a lot. To be honest, coming into the season, we had a lot of expectations on offense. Defense has started to grow with me. The coaches have done a great job developing the team, making it really a team defense where everyone does their job. And I think that really showed against Brad McMahon. At the beginning of the week, Coach Callahan said, we're going to win this game if everyone does their job. 11 guys do their job. And I think that's something I really admire about the defense. So I have a lot of fun. Yeah.
Talk a little bit, I don't know how many people outside of this area know about the rivalry between Wilton and Ridgefield. You have Wilton coming up Friday night. You haven't lost to them in 18 games. Why have you been so successful, and what is the rivalry like for Ridgefield?
Since I've been here, it's always, I came up, as a freshman, obviously. It was a big deal, playing against Wilton, rivalry right next door. They used to be our Thanksgiving game. Always came as a kid. I think the game used to be on Thanksgiving. It was always in the newspaper. Really, media covered it really well. And so it was a really big deal when I got here as a sophomore, and the varsity started playing. It was really cool to have that kind of relationship with Wilton and know some of the kids, and you see them every year, and you see them develop as a team, and also us. They're always a tough team. It's always a battle. So we're just gonna prepare this week. Get ready, not have a slip, so that we can get ready for states.
You win your final 2 games, you're probably in the state playoffs. You're a dangerous team. You guys, I know obviously you're antsy to get in there. You feel like you could do some damage in December?
Yeah, definitely. Right now, I know last night I was looking at the FCIAC double L power rankings, and you're analyzing everything. What if this happens? What if that happens? But right now we're just focusing on Wilton, then Danbury. They're saying we win those 2 games, we're going to be in. So I definitely think that we'll be a very dangerous team in the playoffs. We've got, our senior class has so much chemistry, and it's just it's like a team I've never been on before, where we just have such a tight bond that I think that's something more dangerous than having so much talent that we can overcome anything. We've overcome so much adversity this year already, and we can do it going forward, even if we have to play the 1 or 2 seed.
Well, it's going to be an interesting next 2 weeks, and Mickey, Andrew, we wish you the best of luck the rest of the way. And that's this week's episode of FCIAC Football Weekly. We'll be coming to you next week with another team in another town.